Hey everyone, welcome back to K Nation. This will be my first Storytime video. In this video, I will be talking about my experience with COVID. Because if you didn't know, I got COVID a few years ago. And I wanted to tell y'all because it's pretty interesting and it's for my 200 subscriber special. Okay, so on September 14th, 2021, by the way, this was 4 days after my birthday. And I was in 7th grade at the time. That morning, I felt okay. I felt like a little sick. I didn't even know why. So I just ignored it. I went to school. I felt fine for a few hours. I would say like 3 hours in the day. I started feeling weird. I don't know why. I felt sick. And I was like, I know I'm not sick. I just ignored it. Maybe it was a weird day. Like 30 minutes later, I started coughing. It was like dry coughs. And I just felt like very sick. And then I started feeling like I have a fever. So I asked my teacher, can I go to the nurse? And then he said yes. And then I went to the nurse with my vice principal. And the nurse checked my temperature. And it said my temperature was fine. Which I know, I said I had a fever. So I know that I don't feel fine. And then my vice principal said, look, you're healthy, when I didn't feel healthy at all. I just went back to class. Like 45 minutes later, my fever got worse. And I felt like I had the flu. And I never had the flu before. I asked my teacher if I could see my vice principal. He said yes. And the vice principal and the principal came, and I said that I have a very bad fever and I feel sick. I don't feel good at all. And the principal said that she understands, and then they took me to the isolation room. And that's where people are sick and or very sick or whatever. I was in there, and there were 2 to 3 more kids in there, and they were coughing a lot. And I'm a germaphobe, so yeah. And then my mom had to pick me up, and I had to wait in there for 40 minutes. It was a long time. So I was in there, and then my mom got me, and then we went to Panda Express, out of all places. And I wanted to taste something, see if I still have my taste buds. And I couldn't taste the food. But that was only because Panda Express, for some reason, they lost their flavor. I don't know why. Their food used to be good, in 2016. So I went home, I got something to eat. My taste buds were still there, just my sickness lowered my taste buds. I still taste it, but just a little. And I lost my sense of smell as well. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, when my mom got me, the nurse did a COVID test on me. And yeah, that was the first time doing a COVID test. It wasn't that bad. And then they said I'll get my results in 4 days. So I didn't go to school. I couldn't go to school until I got my results back. So yeah, 4 days later, I tested positive for COVID. And yeah, I was a little scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen. After a few days, my fever went away. Still felt very sick though. And thankfully at the time, I wasn't hosting, because around that time, Fantasia I just ended Fantasia. Ended Fantasia literally around that time, a few days before. But if I didn't end it, I probably would have still hosted, because, that's what I love doing. But I don't know if I'll probably for a little bit, just not as long as I used to. Maybe an hour or 2, but that's about it. I'm glad I wasn't hosting. But I was working on Exotic Mob Sim. I was just around making that server. That was a month before it came out. See, I was still making that server, because that server took 2 months to make. See, I was making that. That was my first time having COVID, and it was a terrible experience. Terrible experience. But I'm glad I'm good now. I only had it for 2 weeks. And then I went back to school after that. So yeah, that was really it. That was my code experience. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And I'll try my best to answer them. I'll see y'all in the next video.